you have been practicing the sadhana of this Swami?
I can say that. Because, we go by our Guru's method. But then when we are established in it, we don't mind making digressions anywhere because we won't be drawn into any net. Anywhere. Whether it's right or wrong. That is why we venture out. It did not mean that it's there, and we also try to find out how many of these things at the higher level they carry. Because it not only gives the sadhana, it also gives the result. What is the state of consciousness attained by the people who have adopted it? That tallies with that which is described in various books by the various other methods. So we know that the result is the same. Actually, these are all only relative terms. There is no sthiti or levels at all in jnana. See, it is only your real form at all. We call it swarupa sthiti. Swarupa Sandhana.
Some sort of self-consciousness.
It is just like you go and take the role of Antonio in Merchant of Venice of Shakespeare.
Right.
And you are completely one with the things. You weep where you have to weep, you laugh where you have to laugh. But internally, if you are aware that I am Mr. Sachutta, I have nothing to do with all these things, that is a state. But you won't call it a state, that is your original Swarupa. You are not assuming sense, you are not reaching something that is yours all along.
Right.
You are only retaining what is yours.
Self-consciousness.
That's all we call it. Self-conscious. That's a term. All these terms are not competent enough to reveal what it is. Right. It is just like you are going and asking an Eskimo, what is the term in your language for masala dosha?
Oh.
How can you ever say? We have. Only thing is, even if you develop it, you reach it. Direct perception you do have. Only thing is, we are not aware of that direct perception. Again. See, you know you exist, you are.
Right.
You know he is sitting there, Panditji is sitting.
Right.
What is the difference between the two? These two knowledge. There is one knowledge that you exist, you are. There is another knowledge that Panditji is. So what is the difference between the two?
One is the knowledge by identity, the other is by contact.
Who contacted?
It's a sense perception.
It's a sense perception. What is the other one?
It's by identity.
With what? Identity with what?
With my ego or self.
This is with your ego. Your ego is perceiving through all these senses. Senses are only with the ego.
Right.
There are no senses in the ultimate state. So this is identity as well as contact. The other one is direct. You ask hundreds of persons, you know that you are. You ask him, 100% they have asked, hundreds of, the greatest of scholars and people and all, including the topmost man in the brain century, as to how do you know that you exist? Oh, I know, that's all. Nobody will answer you properly. This is what is called Atindriya Jnana. They do not come through the medium of any of these senses. It comes straight from the source of sources. That is what is called the direct knowledge. That's all. So if only you go deeper into it, you can really see the result. That's all. Just know that I am. Remember in that. Remain in that stage. Don't add any qualification. Don't say I am a man. I am 30 years old. I am an MBA. Nothing you add. Without a qualification, remain in that amness. Rakhal Maharaj of Bombay, he reached his enlightenment in 3 years, only in this one practice. That's what he did. He was almost like Raman Maharshi.
Yes, it was reminding me of Raman Maharshi.
I am that. He has written his famous book.
Right.
So many books. He was illiterate practically. He used to talk in Marathi.
Yes. I have got one question and answer.
Sure.
How do these things compare with Sri Aurobindo's teaching?
See, there is no question of a comparison. See, you go, say a procession is going on.
Right.
So you are seeing, thousands of people are seeing, are you trying to compare?
Not necessarily, but as we find a parallel between Mahatma and him, so I ask.
You see, the question of parallels cannot arise because according to the Einstein we have seen, each observer, when he observes, none of them observe the same thing. And whatever is mouth is not the ultimate. So these are all the relative ones only. Whatever is finally seen can never be mouth. It cannot be expressed to the expression. So whatever you are seeing, it varies from person to person. So now, if you look at this from here, here, it varies. When the observer moves, the object also changes absolutely. These are all the things. Because there is nothing called the object. It is the subject which has become an object. So, the subject is part of the object according to Einstein, and it's also according to Vedanta.
But there would be some commonality of perception, like you said.
You cannot have any commonality of perception because each one sees. See, unless you come and sit in me and become one with me, you cannot see that. So long as you are even half an inch away, your perception is different. So the only way if you want to have a common perception is become me. So become Ramana, then you can understand. Become Aravindo, you can understand. There is no other shortcut. These are all accumulated knowledge, conditioning, just the accumulation from the various places. It is, see, we are all accumulating more like a mechanical computer. So, there is a vast difference between the ultimate knowledge and this. So, you cannot adopt any of the norms. We are trying to.
Is there any kind of mental preparation necessary before one can approach the ultimate knowledge?
Yeah, the mental perception necessary is try to leave off what all you have learnt. So unlearning is the first process you start.
Kind of deconditioning.
Deconditioning. Unlearn what all you have learnt. Don't try to apply any of those things. Start afresh. That's all. So when you unlearn, if you are going to do that, it will ultimately result in a state of where the mind disappears. And no mind comes finally. There is the state where you can perceive things in the reality. The mind interferes. It is the mind which says I. During your sleep, your absolute sleep, the mind disappeared. That is why you are extremely happy. Not only that, the I disappeared. There was no I. The world disappeared. So the world, I, these are all the concocted products, the fabrication of the mind. And so long as they are there, you are subject to all miseries or alternative so-called smaller pleasures and miseries. So you just remove it, you are there, you are in pure Ananda.
What is the procedure to get rid?
All the methods given in our Shastras are that. You go on doing Ram, Ram, Ram. Om Brahmanaji, aye. Table. Concentrated manner, continuously. Then what happens? A day will come when the table will disappear from your mouth, when you yourself will disappear, and only that which always existed, that existence alone will be there. That's all. So this process comes through all the methods, whether you do Hatha Yoga, whether you do Japa Yoga, whether you raise the Kundalini, all these things end finally in annihilation of the mind. That is what is called Manonasha, Unmani Bhava. So all the methods finally come to that. Even though deliberately they don't state it, but finally that's what it is.
So saying table is a kind of psychological device.
There is nothing called psychological. The entire method is only, you are trying to reduce the multiple thoughts to a single one. When you reduce your multiple thoughts single, because these the multiple thoughts, they don't allow you to concentrate anything. Supposing something you have forgotten, or something you want to do research, you go on continuously thinking of it, thinking of it, thinking of it, in a single pointed way, then you will understand. Even things which you do not know, you will understand. There was some Dr. Cooley, he was trying to understand the structure of benzene. It didn't fall in the normal pattern of the organic structures. Kekule. So, he finally had a dream because he was going on thinking of it night and day. It became an obsession. Then he saw the serpent eating its own tail. Then he knew that it's something else, not the normal usual way of carbon, hydrogen and all that thing. Isn't that?
Right.
So, the entire thing is to concentrate. For that purpose, you try to reduce things to a single thought. A thought gets bored if it remains alone, it always wants company. So a day comes when it disappears. It is a normal process which people have observed. That a single thought cannot last forever. Finally it disappears. When it disappears, you come to the reality. That which has always been obstructing your sight into the reality, that which goes away, then you are, there is no you, then the truth alone exists, that's all, and you are that truth. The reality alone exists and you are that reality.